Hi, and welcome back to Thone's 1 Peter Nibbles number 19, A Heavenly Inheritance, part 10 of 18, and now we're going to talk about heaven. Again, all this material comes from 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 through 12. And we're going to take a glimpse of eternity. Now, why is this in the Bible? Tying together the Old Testament prophecies and the New Testament truths. That's really what this is about. Connecting with what was said before and what we now understand to be the case. Communications. Why it is worth following the Lord. Why is it worth following the Lord? The application to me is as follows. What is heaven like? In verses 6 and 7 of this reading, it tells us that we should expect praise, glory, and honor upon us as we have persevered until the end, doing God's will for us. We have overcome the suffering. Now, in verses 8 and 9, Peter tells us about seeing Jesus in the flesh. Although they, and we, that is they being the people who the epistle was written to, and we, those who are reading it today, have never seen him, Peter had. And thus the promise of salvation through eternity is made more real to all by his testimony. Thus they and we can feel the joy to come. In verses 10 through 12, we understand the difference between the Old Testament prophets who proclaimed the Word of God, but so much was not understood. And now quoting Paul, he said, he was looking through a glass darkly before. We all were, until we understand the New Testament, and then clarity comes to that through that dark glass. Now, for New Testament believers, we can understand the reality of grace, or of suffering, and of glory. Why? Because many of the prophecies have been fulfilled in the sight of Peter and the other apostles. It seems that even the angels were sometimes surprised by the way the whole story was fit together. All this was to strengthen the will of the suffering believers to stand fast against the enemy to the end. Now God leads us with this. Listen to the connection from the past through the present into the future. We have prophecy in the past, we have the life we're living right now in the present, and then we have the life that we anticipate in the future. And all of those must connect together as related to God. My response, Lord, thank you for giving us these simple but sometimes unexpected insights into where we came from, where we are, and where we are going. And if that isn't encouraging to you, then we need to talk more, because that's the most wonderful encouragement in the world, that our future is there for us to wait on, and it's full of glory. We'll talk to you next.